Visit WeSaySaveIt.org and take control of your financial future by saving for retirement.
A message from AARP and the Ad Council.
This is the Happy Hour.
You guys going to happy hour?
Coming at you live from the heart of Lincoln, America.
Yeah, I'll come for a couple.
Here are your hosts, Nick Sainert.
I want to know what it's like to commit a crime without having to spend time in jail.
And Enrique Alvarez Clary.
C is for chunk.
Brought to you by Empire Fence and Netting on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Welcome into the happy hour. Nick and Rico hanging out with you guys still.
Oh, hey, we're back.
We're still here. So I saw this earlier today and we didn't get to mention it, but it is time that we need to talk about a Lincoln East product, Noah Walters.
Oh, yeah.
So,
that guy.
Well, as always, before we get right into that, 402-464-5685, the Honda Lincoln hotline, the Starter Heyman text line, both those open for you guys the entire show, as always. And then the Starter Heyman Jewelers video stream, Facebook, YouTube, Twitch, and Twitter. All those avenues able for you guys to connect with us there. We'd love to hear from you guys. You guys know that. So it was announced earlier today, and going back just to kind of refresh everybody's memory, Noah Walters was Lincoln East quarterback last year, had a great season.
The best quarterback in the state.
Yeah, was far and away the best quarterback in the state last year.
Not even close.
Unfortunately, was forced because of just some, I don't even know if I want to call it miscommunication, because I don't think it was that, and I don't want to give colleges an out for not recruiting him here in the state, but wrongfully passed up.
He was offered a preferred walk-on instead of a scholarship. And I understand actually, I don't understand. People are saying, oh, well, they had so-and-so committed and, he's too short and all that. No. He's a fantastic quarterback. And, he's one of the better players in the state. And if you want to talk about not letting the best players in the state leave the borders of your state,
he's one of them.
You want to lock it down, you got to show a commitment to a top 3 recruit in the state.
Yeah, and like I said, so it was weird. The last couple of years, and this is the first year that it really got back to normal after COVID, where recruiting rankings were better and more accurate this season. And just overall, there were guys getting passed up on that probably shouldn't get passed up on from even bigger. And I'm not saying Noah Walters should have gotten it's not time for that. And that ship has sailed to say, oh, Noah should have gotten a scholarship offer to Nebraska. It's more of,
I'll say it.
Other players. Well, yes, obviously, but even not Nebraska. Like I'm talking South Dakota State. Like he would have fit at all of those other places as well. The smaller places around Nebraska that recruit a lot of in-state Nebraska guys. The North Dakota States, the North Dakotas, the Kansases, the Kansas States, like all those places, unfortunately, due to COVID, after having conversations with their parents at various games and things like that, it just kind of seemed like they kind of got lost in the shuffle. Either way, anyway, that's not the point that I'm trying to make here. But Noah Walters today was named to the 2022-2023 Jerry Rice Award watch list. And you might ask, what is the Jerry Rice Award? It is the FCS Freshman of the Year Award. Lincoln East grad Noah Walters, in his first season, he's playing down at North Alabama. You might remember North Alabama. Who's their offensive coordinator? Former Husker running back coach, Ryan Held. Wow. He's their offensive coordinator. So it was kind of this late thing where Ryan Held was obviously let go and his position was terminated to here at Nebraska. He ended up becoming the offensive coordinator down at North Alabama. Noah Walters visited North Alabama and ended up committing and signing to play for the Lions down there and having himself a pretty good season here for North Alabama. So once again, 402-464-5685, the Honda Lincoln hotline, the Starter Heyman text line. Tyler makes an interesting point. They recruited Torres and Harburg instead. I'd rather have Flores this year. Walter's stats aren't great this year, if I remember correctly. So I was looking up Noah Walter's stats. And he's not necessarily the full-time starting quarterback. However, he's making a big enough splash to be noticed.
He wasn't a starter to start the season. At one point, he came into a game and led them on a game-winning drive.
Yeah,
as a true freshman coming into a game late.
So he's played in 5 games this year. He's completed about 64% of his passes for nearly 1,000 passing yards. Has 8 touchdowns and 3 picks.
Seems pretty good to me. In what,
so
5 games?
Not horrible. Somebody asked what's their record. I gotta look that up. North Alabama football here, so I can do that while we look. And here's the thing. I mean, Tyler, to your point, what's interesting is you bring up past guys that Nebraska's staff has recruited, and we can, if we wanted to dive into this, we probably could. You would remember the year that Harburg came out of Kearney Catholic, that Nebraska passed up on Cole Payton from Omaha West Side. Cole Payton and the Omaha West Side Warriors, I believe, won the state title that year, and Cole Payton really blew up towards the end of that season. Just in the last couple years, that was one of the more frustrating decisions by this staff. And it's nothing against Heinrich Harburg. It's not. I think it also is fair and honest here to say Heinrich Harburg's kind of gotten lost in the shuffle here at Nebraska.
A little bit.
Like, he came in as the guy to, I mean, he was talking about being the backup last year to Adrian Martinez. And you had Heinrich Harburg and the amazing arm strength that Harburg brings in from Kearney Catholic in Class C2. And not saying there's not talent out in those lower classes, because I don't know if you guys have seen, Carter Nelson from Ainsworth has been racking up the offers. He got an Oklahoma offer the other day, obviously has a Nebraska offer, just got offered by Penn State today. So he's racking up the offers. And it goes to show, I saw this
Duke offer like last month.
Our friend Mike Schaefer put it on Twitter. Listen, if Carter Nelson's the perfect example, is if you're a good enough athlete in a small town, they will find you if you're good enough. So Carter Nelson's a good example there. So it is what it is. Somebody says, oh, here we go. Love it. Can't take them all, bud. I understand that. So what do you think I'm saying?
You can't take
evaluation.
All of them.
That's what I'm getting at. Without straight up saying it, the evaluation's been crap.
Yeah, if you're looking at, and I look, I'm a proponent of, and I've gotten enough crap for it, but I'll keep saying it until I can't say it anymore. You don't need to take everyone.
No,
everyone in the state doesn't. And this is going to sound mean, everyone in the state doesn't deserve an offer. Not everyone is good enough to play at that level. But if you evaluate the talent that you have in the state, there's some people who might fall through the cracks, but there are others like a Noah Walters who didn't have a star rating. But if you look at him play, I don't care about his size.
That's the thing,
I don't care about that.
Yeah.
Look, he's like 6 foot. Casey Thompson's like 6 feet tall. You want to talk about he's too short to play at this level? Casey Thompson showed you at Texas, and now at Nebraska, it doesn't matter. Drew Brees showed you at Purdue. It doesn't matter how tall you are. It just matters how good of a football player you are. Russell Wilson was a short quarterback. You look at them, you see how well they play the game and how well they understand the game. Noah Walters understands and plays the game at a very high level. Maybe he needs a little polish here and there, but he's a fantastic quarterback. And by all accounts, from everything I've heard, an even better kid.
Yeah, he's a good dude. I like Noah Walters a lot. And here's another thing that you can there were a lot of people advocating for him. And we're not talking parents and teammates, because you're going to have that everywhere you go. You're going to have that. It's the people that have conversations with him regarding specifically college football. Those guys, those people in those rooms and in those conversations were advocating for him. So I understand that you can't take them all, bud. Thank you. I understand that. But it's also frustrating when we talk about evaluation and lack of just putting in the effort. And now, do I think that's changing? Absolutely, 100%. Because I've also seen Brian Applewhite and Mickey Joseph, the running back coach and head coach now, respectively, for Nebraska, at a Lincoln Northeast football game. Lincoln Northeast is 0-8. So do I think evaluation and developing relationships is changing? 100,000%. It's just frustrating because we look back. Cole Payton's playing at North Dakota State, which is a powerhouse. And it's very possible Very possible. Tyler points this out on the text line. Peyton was a stud in that championship game for sure. 100%. You're right.
He was a stud all season.
But he really
Blew
up towards
after
the end.
championship. Yeah.
But it's also it was frustrating because there's a chance that we can even bring Zane Flores into this, for example. We could. There's a chance that Zane Flores and Cole Payton and Easton Stick and all these other quarterbacks that Nebraska's either misevaluated, hasn't given them the light of day, anything like that, there's a chance that they don't come to Nebraska. And that's fine. But not even trying is unacceptable.
You got to at least put in the effort.
Not even trying with Zane Flores is flat out unacceptable.
The fact that he doesn't have a scholarship offer.
Well, in fact, the fact that there was no communication.
Yeah.
I mean, you can take it a step further and go really to the roots of it. And now there's been communication recently, but there wasn't for the last couple years. And Zane Flores has been here for a couple years now.
Mm-hmm.
And he was, last year, we understood at him in his junior season.
He was that dude.
We understood that he was that guy. He was that guy. And I understand he's not a 3-star, he's just a 3-star, if you want to call it just a 3-star. But he's good enough for Mike Gundy down at Oklahoma State.
I'd like to say that they've produced some pretty good quarterbacks.
So
I'd like to think that their quarterback evaluation is pretty spot on. Just like a North Dakota. And this is what I say. If North Dakota State wants a quarterback, you might want that quarterback.
That's a good point, Rico. And like, I don't know. And once again, I want to preface everything and kind of, because I feel like we have to buffer it because we'll get called out on the text line if not. If we don't just, cover our bases.
Call me out. I don't care.
Well, no, cover our bases. Just because they come here, just because we recruit them doesn't mean that they're going to pan out. Like, I'm not saying that, if Noah Walters comes to Nebraska, he's starting this season. No, it's not. It's not that.
And even
idea.
if they have success somewhere else, it doesn't mean they would have had success here at Nebraska.
And when we look back at the last, multiple years of Nebraska football, it's frustrating because the cultivation of relationships has not been there. It hasn't been there. And they have a great opportunity. Nebraska's sitting in a great spot right now with Malachi Coleman on Saturday. He's going to commit on Saturday. The only place he's visited so far this season specifically has been Nebraska. Yes, he visited Michigan, Michigan State, Iowa. He's visited all those places before.
Oregon, Georgia.
But recently, he's only visited Nebraska during games.
An official visit during his senior season.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. He was supposed to go to Ole Miss, Miami. It didn't happen.
Was he supposed to go to Oregon?
I'm not sure. But either way, so they're sitting in a good spot. But when we talk about cultivating relationships, not only outside of the state of Nebraska, but more specifically inside, I've told this story multiple times, and I don't need to tell the whole story again. But it speaks volumes when Brian Applewhite is starting a relationship with first-year head coach Javonte Boyd at Lincoln Northeast when they're 0-8.
Mm-hmm.
Because they understand that, listen, nobody's going to be recruited for Nebraska this year out of Lincoln Northeast.
Mm-hmm.
That's just being honest in all. I mean, 100%. But you don't know what's going to happen next year or the following year. Who's going to transfer in? Who's going to move because their parent just got a new job here? Nobody knows. But these guys, the coaches down for Nebraska right now, Mickey Joseph included, because he's been at Seacrest quite often. I've been at Seacrest every Thursday and Friday night.
Mm-hmm.
And Mickey Joseph's been there more times than not. And when that guy shows up, the players, the coaches, the fans, everybody notices. The media, we all notice. And it just makes it a lot easier to cheer for when that happens, when they're there. It makes it a lot easier to talk about because we understand that they're cultivating relationships and you have less of a chance of missing a guy like Zane Flores or not talking to a guy like Zane Flores down the road or talking to a guy like Malachi Coleman.
And you talk about cultivating.
Benny and Goy is another great option or a great example.
You talk about cultivating relationships. Just because you talk to that person, just because you're engaged in the recruitment of whatever player doesn't necessarily mean that you are, going to bring that player in to be your next starter, your next,
Mm-hmm.
depth on whatever team, because, so I'm just reading this text from Kirk from Georgia.
Yeah.
If it'll load.
So
if they landed Raiola, would any of this matter? Well, the thing is, even though they were talking to Raiola, even though they were talking to Pop Watson, you should have been talking to the quarterback, the best quarterback in your state.
Yeah.
That's the thing with recruiting is you can't just talk to one person, because if you're talking to one person and you miss on that person, you don't have a backup plan. That's why Nebraska sends out 300 offers a year. You have to make these relationships, and you have to understand that you're not going to get every single person you want. You have to be able to talk to multiple people, multiple recruits, and build those relationships just in case your number one option, or whoever you have as your number one option, decides to go somewhere else. So then you can fall back on number 2. You can fall back on number 3, and you can say, well, you're not going to tell them, oh, well, we wanted this guy, we didn't get him. You're talking to them, you're making them all feel special, you're making them all feel like they're your number one guy. When you have on your board who your number one guy is, if you don't get him, you go to number 2. That's just how this works. So it doesn't matter if you were targeting Raiola and you wanted Raiola. You should have been talking to Zane Flores as well. There should have been some type of communication.
I also think, there's no, and that's the thing where, okay, so we get this off the text line. I need to collect my thoughts here. We get this off the text line. Unnamed texter. Just because Walters was, quote, your guy doesn't mean they did a bad job with evaluating him. Don't you think he would have ended up in the Power 5 if Nebraska missed on him? So, first of all, Walters is not my guy. I see talent, I watch talent, and I think, he would fit in well as an option or a part in Nebraska's room. Remember, I said it very clear earlier. Just because he doesn't go to Nebraska, there were a lot of teams that I think missed on him. And I'm not the only one that thinks that. I am not the only. People that are way smarter than me in this media business say the same thing.
People within recruiting circles who know a lot more about recruiting.
A lot more than I would ever know.
Think that he was missed by all the other Power 5s that didn't recruit him.
And it's not even Power 5. What we said at the top of the hour was...
hell, a group of 5. Just a Division
that's exactly
I program.
That's exactly it. Because you've seen... you've seen the Javon Duckers go to Northern Illinois, now Memphis, and succeed. You've seen other guys. Easton Stick's a great example. Went to North Dakota State. You saw Cole Payton now go to North Dakota State, who are still in the FCS, but at a better program, like just a top tier program there.
A top tier program that can beat Power 5 programs.
And we here's the thing. I think another thing that I would add is to texters and listeners out there. How many times over the last 4 or 5 years, over the course of a couple staffs, has Nebraska evaluated well? Evaluated well. And I'm not talking the 4-star recruits, the Wandale Robinson. I'm not talking those guys. The guys in smaller areas. How have the guys? Goodness sakes. How have the guys from Florida worked out for Nebraska in recent years? Because we can go back to a 2019, 2020 class where Jaden Francois, Henry Gray, all those guys, Keyshawn Green, never even played a snap.
You signed them and then you lost them all.
And that's kind of the point where when we have recruiting discussions, if you don't want to recruit your state, that's fine. That's a problem that you're going to have to live with.
Seems like a terrible decision.
It's a terrible decision, but if you want to under-recruit your state, even if they're not starting on Saturdays, if you don't want to give them the time of day, that's fine. But you sure as hell better hit on the guys from Florida, from Texas. You better. Because if the Henry Gray, the Jaden Francois, the Keyshawn Greens, all the guys that Nebraska's lost to the transfer portal, I have a spreadsheet that we can go to.
Shout out to your spreadsheets. While you're finding your spreadsheet,
go ahead.
I just want to talk about, people are saying, where was Walter's other Power 5 offers? And I just want to say Malcolm Hartzog had one other Power 5 offer, and that was from Ole Miss. And both Nebraska and Ole Miss were extremely late to the game in that one.
So here you go.
And look how well Malcolm Hartzog's turned out.
So here you go. Miles Jones, David Olson, Will Farniok, Justin McGriff, Barrett Pickering, Willie Canty. Names that we haven't even thought. Jakeem Green out of JUCO, Darian Chase, Demarion Houston, Jamie Nance, Jackson Hanna, Jameen Green, Matthew Anderson, Jimmy Fritchie, Desmond Bland, Keyshawn Green, Marcus Fleming, Henry Gray, Nadab Joseph, Jaden Francois, Will Nixon, Nico Cooper, Ronald Delancey, Feldarius Payne, Jordan Riley, Wyndon Hohuli, Bronson Yeager, Malik Williams, Latrell Neville. Just a couple.
Just a couple.
Just a
I
couple.
feel like you named half the roster.
Like, if you're hitting on these guys, then that's fine. Then we're not having this conversation because your recruiting ranking, it doesn't matter what your recruiting rankings are saying. It doesn't matter because you're winning football games.
Wisconsin's recruiting rankings are never that good.
No.
Look what that, I mean, maybe not this year, but look what they normally do.
So it goes into this giant discussion of basically development. And we all know, and we always throw this blanket statement of development on there, and that's fine.
Evaluation and development.
But when you're losing games, and once again, I want to make it very clear because I think it's important to note has been communication between this current staff and Zane Flores, the current guys in charge and Zane Flores.
Mm-hmm.
Previously, it was not. So I want to give them their credit because that was one of the first things they did.
It's not saying anything's going to change, but at least the phone has been picked up.
Yeah. So, yeah, I think it's far too late in the process for Zane Flores to change his mind, and frankly, can't blame him. Mike Gundy has been winning football games. Oklahoma State's a top 15 program.
They're a top 10 program.
Yeah, top 15, top 10, top 15 program consistently, and they're going to be competing for a Big 12 title. So you can't blame them there. I also don't think Zane Flores is going to go to Oklahoma State and start week 1.
No.
So I think I'm not trying to say with this conversation, Zane Flores, Noah Walters, Cole Payton was going to come to Nebraska and start week 1. But it's about development. And recruits now understand also in previous years, what also hurts you is not having the right assistant coaches in the space to where recruits are smart enough to look at it and say, how's Heinrich Harburg developing? How is Logan Smothers developing? Like they're smart enough. That stuff is out there. You hear radio shows like me and Rico talking about, man, Logan Smothers, Heinrich Harburg just kind of lost in the shuffle here. I mean, look at the conversation last year. People just kind of lost in the shuffle to where Adrian Martinez leaves. You have to go get 2 guys from the portal.
Adrian broke his jaw, and you still didn't want to play your backup.
And so that's not, once again, to the point, just because Walters was your guy doesn't mean they did a bad job with evaluating. I mentioned that it feels like a lot of programs missed on Walters as a developmental and projection piece. That's what I think. And I wouldn't be sitting here questioning it. We, as a fan base, as media members, would not sit here and question it. And frankly, Scott Frost and staff would still be here if they didn't do a bad job of evaluating guys every year. I think that's a fair thing to say, because if you're doing a good job evaluating guys, if you're doing a good job of developing guys, then you usually win football games, or you win at least more than 18 over the course of 4 years. So I don't know. Maybe I'm out of line by saying that. Maybe I'm way out of bounds, and I don't know what I'm talking about.
You probably are.
It is what it is. But here we are. We're having this conversation. So once again, as just to bring this whole thing full circle, Noah Walters named to the FCS Player of the Year or Freshman of the Year watch list for the 2022-2023 season. So congrats to Noah Walters. Chase B on the text line. There are a lot of thoughts in here, and I want to make sure that we kind of touch them all. Ham and Beans mentions Noah Fant, 100%. Chase B, example is Luke Reimer. He wasn't offered anything. He walked on, and now he's one of our best defenders. Yeah. Luke Reimer was a guy. Now it's very, there's a sticky situation or, tough conversation of whether guys should have a preferred walk-on offer or should they get a scholarship offer. That's tough. And there's a lot of conversations that we don't know about that go on behind the scenes regarding preferred walk-on offers to where it's, hey, listen, man, come to Nebraska as a preferred walk-on.
Isn't there like a gray shirt thing where you're a walk-on for however many months?
I think there was this situation with Luke Reimer where it was, hey, man, come on here for a little bit, work hard, show us you belong here, and you get a scholarship. Because they'll usually, Nebraska staff and multiple programs across the country, not just Nebraska, will keep a couple scholarships off to the side for that reason.
Just in case.
And for late transfer portal stuff. So, all right, let's go and take a break. When we come back, we'll dive into more Husker football stuff and other Husker athletic stuff. We talked Husker volleyball earlier in the water cooler. We might touch that or talk about that real quick again. But whatever it is, we want to hear from you guys. 402-464-5685. If you guys have any thoughts on recruiting, if you want to get in on this discussion, we'd love to take your phone calls or texts. 402-464-5685. And I guess this is an important time to let you know that you will be able to listen to Zane Flores' football game tomorrow night as he faces off against Lincoln East and Malachi Coleman. Like, we don't want to bury the lead. Malachi Coleman's still a top 100 player in the country, makes a decision on Saturday the 22nd here of where he's going to play his
Lincoln
college
East
football. Yeah, so, and he's at Lincoln East. So it's going to be a good matchup tomorrow night. Malachi Coleman, top 100 player. Zane Flores, 3-star Oklahoma State quarterback. They'll be facing off tomorrow night at 7. You'll be able to hear it right here on The Ticket. Let's get to break. You're listening to the Happy Hour on The Ticket.
Follow Nick and Enrique on Twitter at Nick_Sainert and at Radio Rico AC. More of Happy Hour is next on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Casey's General Stores is giving away 2 tickets to each Nebraska football home game this season. To enter, just head to any Casey's General Store location in Lincoln during the football season, scan the QR code at the front counter, and fill out the online form. One winner will be chosen at random 2 days before that week's game. So head over to Casey's, stock up on all your tailgating snacks and drinks, and register to win 2 tickets to a Nebraska football game, brought to you by Casey's General Store and 93.7 The Ticket.
Landmark Implement, your local John Deere dealership, is searching for mechanics of all skill levels to grow with us. Landmark offers a competitive wage, full benefits package, along with paid time off within just 60 days of employment, as well as a 401k and a boot and clothing allowance. Interested in becoming a part of the Landmark difference? Apply now at landmarkimp.com/careers or contact Deanna 402-310-7561 or email careers@landmarkimp.com. That's landmarkimp.com. Landmark Implement is an equal opportunity employer.
Whiter Wheat Sandwich Shop in Lincoln reminds us, October is National Breast Cancer Awareness Month. But breast cancer is a year-round concern, so get screened today. It could save your life. This message is from Whiter Wheat Sandwich Shop at 6940 Van Dorn Street in Lincoln. Serving the community for over 10 years. Come in for their homemade soft buns or call 402-434-3980. That's 434-3980.
The best way to learn about Southeast Community College is to visit. SCC's Career Days will provide you with hands-on experience as you learn alongside SCC faculty and students and our industry partners. This provides you with a first-hand look at career opportunities in construction, agriculture, automotive, manufacturing and engineering, transportation, and healthcare. Learn more about SCC Career Days at southeast.edu/visit SCC. SCC. Your path to possible.
How's Wingstop sound? Crispy, juicy classic wings. Made to order, cooked to perfection. And sauced and tossed in those 11 soul-satisfying flavors. Paired with hand-cut seasoned fries, house-made honey mustard, blue cheese, or signature Wingstop ranch. And of course, spicy Cajun fried corn. I think you've heard enough. Get your flavor delivered at wingstop.com.
Get an immediate look back at the game from the people who know it best. It's the Tanner's post-game show and the final word live from Tanner's Bar and Grill at 30th and Yankee Hill. Hear from former players and national champions like Jay Foreman, Rashawn Jackson, and Aaron Davis and see what they saw in that day's game. It's the Tanner's post-game show and the final word. Live and in person, home or away at Tanner's Bar and Grill, brought to you by Bauer Infrastructure. Only here on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
The days of internet contracts and heavy fine print are over. It's time to experience hassle-free service with no contracts or hidden fees. That's the Allo promise. Allo Communications provides fiber internet, TV, and phone services with fair and no-nonsense pricing. All backed by a 30-day money-back guarantee, 24/7 local support 365 days a year, and a monthly bill you can count on. Don't settle for gimmicks. Settle for hassle-free with Allo. Visit us at allofiber.com/hassle-free.
Another packed fall sports season means it's time to get to N Street Drive-In to fill up on all your beverage needs. Right now, they have tons of fall seasonals and Oktoberfest beers, and you can check out their First Street Brewing and Lucky Bucket selections as their beers of the month. Also, make sure to download the new N Street Drive-In app to order online and to set up delivery right to your front door. And don't forget their top-notch Crowler fill system. N Street Drive-In, your one-stop beverage stop at 1801 O Street.
Lose fat, build muscle, gain endurance. Whatever your goal, Farrell's Extreme Body Shaping can help you achieve it. Farrell's offers group fitness for all levels in a fun, welcoming environment. Their proven method combines kickboxing, cardio, and strength training to get you in the best shape of your life. You've heard all about their 10-week challenges, but you can join as a member anytime. Head to fxbeatlincoln.com to learn more. Farrell's Extreme Body Shaping at 40th and Yankee Hill or just south of 78th and Pioneers.
Finally, a good reason to have a smart house. Just say, Alexa, play 93.7 The Ticket, and we'll magically start playing. How's it work? Nobody knows. Don't ask questions.
When you're high, you feel different. You think different, you talk different, you draw different, you listen to music different, but you probably knew that. Problem is, you also drive different, and not in a good way. That's why driving high is illegal everywhere. So if you're high, just don't drive. Make a plan to get a sober ride. Because if you feel different, you drive different. Brought to you by NHTSA and the Ad Council.
You're listening to The Happy Hour with Nick Sainert and Enrique Alvarez Clary, sponsored by Empire Fence and Netting on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Yeah. Welcome back.
Sorry.
Happy hour.
All right.
Second segment. Nick,
we go.
reading laptop.
Emailing.
Yeah.
Emailing.
Yeah.
Emailing. All right. So anyway,
Talking.
we're here. We're back.
80.
Rico, let me ask you this. Have you seen what, or have you heard what Russell Wilson's special healing ability is?
Yeah, he's got Wolverine blood.
I heal quick. I don't know if it's Wolverine blood or what. Russell
Wolverine
Wilson
also has an adamantium skeleton, but go off.
A what?
Adamantium.
How do you spell that?
ADAM.
Adamantium.
Adamantium. It's like the strongest metal in well, is it the strongest metal? Maybe. One of those is true.
Maybe. All right. So once again, if you missed any of the conversation from the first segment, 402-464-5685. It was an interesting one. It was a good one. But anyway, we
twists and turns.
Turns. We weren't really expecting
passion.
that. Yeah. But you can go back to the podcast page and listen to that, theticketfm.com, or back on the Starter Heyman Jewelers video stream once we finish up the show today. It's going to be a quick one here before Nathan takes over for me, since it is a Thursday.
Oh, yeah, you do have to leave.
Yep, we do have to leave, unfortunately. Don says this, Rico, don't be putting comic book logic into Nick's head. He's focused on other things.
It's true.
I didn't know if it was from comic books or if it was from Marvel or whatever.
It's from Marvel.
Because I don't know.
Yeah, I know.
So,
you don't.
but you still love me, so I appreciate that, Rico.
Sometimes.
At times.
So every time he extends his claws.
I did see it on the picture that ESPN put that he has claws.
Well, since Wolverine heals so fast that his hand, like the skin on his hands between his knuckles, heals every time. So every time he takes his claws out, it hurts a little bit and he's bleeding because he's ripping the skin.
That's too bad.
There you go.
Too bad for
Wolverine.
Yeah, thank you. Well, I forgot the name. Wolverine. So Justin says, are you sure that Russell Wilson's superpower is not that he's now consistently mediocre? I would say okay. I'm okay with that.
Was that a superpower or
superpower?
I don't think that's that's not a power. That's just him being bad.
Where would you put Russell Wilson in the top 15 quarterbacks in the league? Because I think he's still a top 15 guy.
Can you name quarterbacks? I'll tell you if I'll take Russell Wilson over them or not.
Well, we'll just start from the top, not necessarily in this order.
If I say yes, that means that I will take that quarterback over Russell.
Okay. Josh Allen.
Yes.
Patrick Mahomes.
Yes.
QB's in the NFL. I just need a list so I can just go down a list for him. All right, here we go. Tom Brady.
Yes. Yes.
That's 3. Okay. Matthew Stafford.
Yes.
Okay. Ryan Tannehill. Once again, not in this order. I'm not saying Ryan Tannehill is the number 5 quarterback in the NFL.
You know what? Yeah, I think if you put Tannehill in Denver, that they have a better record.
Okay. You certainly might get the ball more to your receivers.
Definitely.
Right, because that's a quarterback's job. Okay, this list I have is like Colt McCoy, Case Keenum. I don't want that. Ooh, here we go. Geno Smith.
No. Even with the good season,
Even
he's
with
had,
the
no,
okay,
no,
okay. Kirk Cousins.
yes,
This is not current quarterbacks in the NFL.
Ted says Justin Herbert.
got it.
Yes,
Yeah, Justin
even
Herbert.
though I dislike Justin
Jared
Herbert.
Goff. That's a
Yes.
good one. You would give Jared Goff over Russell Wilson right now.
Yes.
Thank you, Rico.
Again,
that's because the Lions are good.
Again, no, the Lions are bad.
Rodgers.
Yes.
Burrow, obviously. Lamar Jackson, yes. It glitched here. Stafford, we already said. Dak.
Yes.
Kyler Murray.
Ooh. Is it a double XP weekend?
So, no, it is not.
Call of Duty comes out today. They play today.
Oh, no. He probably pre-ordered. He got the early version.
He definitely played the beta.
He played the beta.
Maybe he'll want to get home and play so badly that he plays a really good game.
I hope so. The Cardinals are a 2.5-point favorite tonight.
We'll see.
So, Kyler?
Yeah.
Yeah. Derek Carr.
Yeah.
Jalen Hurts.
Yes. Yes. Yes.
Mac Jones.
Yes.
Take your heart out of it, Rico.
Yes.
Really?
Bailey Zappi, yes.
Maybe. Tua.
No.
You would not take Tua over Carson Wentz right
Damaged Tua. He's damaged.
That's
goods
true.
Right now.
We don't know what damage Tua looks like right now. Somebody says brain damage Tua. Jimmy G?
No.
I'm thinking of starters, and you guys are helping us out on the text line.
Mitch
Trubisky.
No.
Anonymous Cubs fan says, here comes the Derek Carr hate. I know it's coming. It's not coming, Anonymous Cubs fan.
I said yes.
We like Derek Carr. This is a pro Derek Carr show.
Derek Carr is very mediocre, though.
Trevor Lawrence.
Ooh.
In Denver?
Maybe.
Has he ever had to play in a cold game?
No.
Oh, actually, okay, how about this one? This one's interesting because I think this season's really shown that this guy might not suck as much as we think.
Now I'm confused.
And this will be the last name.
I swear,
we
if
name.
you say the Jets quarterback,
It is not going to be Zach Wilson. But it's funny that you went to New York because Daniel Jones.
No. I'm taking Russell Wilson over Daniel Jones.
Okay, well, obviously, in the grand scheme, if you look at career.
No, even not career.
But Daniel Jones has him off to a 5-1 record.
And taking Russell. Does he have him off to a 5-1 record?
He's thrown.
It's hard though because
he's only thrown 2 picks.
Denver has like a good.
They have a really good defense.
They have a good offensive line when they're all healthy. They have good receivers. They have good running backs. Russell Wilson is the thing holding them back.
Yeah, it is holding them back. Yes, I agree.
Like there's so many other.
Javonte Williams getting hurt, obviously hurts him a little bit.
Honestly, like I would take Russell over Jimmy G, but if you put Jimmy G in Denver, they probably have a winning record.
Yep. I mean, look what Brock Osweiler did.
Brock Osweiler was
bad. Okay, we have Ellis in Illinois and Chase B asking about Justin Fields. I have a lot of feelings about Justin Fields.
I'm a huge Justin Fields fan.
Get him out of Chicago, and I think he's an NFL caliber.
So much success.
I think he's an NFL caliber starting quarterback.
I don't think anybody you put in Chicago would have success. You put Patrick Mahomes or Josh Allen in Chicago, they wouldn't have success. That's not a good team.
That would be fun. That would be fun to see.
Defensively, strong defense. Offensively, I don't know if they don't have much. N'Keal Harry is their second wide receiver.
What about Carson Wentz?
No, Russell Wilson over Carson Wentz.
Okay, good choice.
And I like Carson Wentz.
I like Carson Wentz and I like Justin Fields. Justin Fields, unfortunately, just
no bueno.
Just not in Chicago. Get him out of Chicago. Where would Justin Fields excel?
New England.
No, because I don't think Bill Belichick would appreciate a running quarterback. He didn't appreciate Jacoby Brissett or Cam Newton.
Jacoby Brissett, I love Jacoby's, was not that good.
Yeah, Jacoby Brisket.
And also Cam Newton was broken.
Cam Newton was broken.
Couldn't throw a
so
football.
Where would Justin Fields excel?
I think he'd do really well in Las Vegas.
Las Vegas would be interesting. I could also see, Seattle. Yeah. Seattle with DK Metcalf and Tyler Lockett. I cannot believe how much Seattle struggles to get those two guys the ball.
It's very weird.
Baltimore, but then here the problem about Baltimore is it'd be like a step down from Lamar Jackson.
Yeah, I'm looking for places where he would be an improvement.
Like somebody says Justin Fields in Tennessee. They have Malik Willis,
Justin
who's similar.
Fields, not real, and maybe no, it'd be an improvement. Justin Fields in Minnesota.
Yes. Yeah. I agree. I agree. Justin Fields and Dalvin Cook
Give
in the
him
backfield.
Dalvin Cook and Justin Jefferson.
Yeah. Somebody says Cleveland as well. Interesting.
Cleveland is a quarterback away.
They are a quarterback away, and that makes me wonder, what Deshaun Watson will look like.
He had another charge against him.
Oh, he did?
He did.
Another day, another charge. That's Deshaun Watson's motto, I suppose, right now. Not a good one to live by.
That guy.
Somebody asked Green Bay. I don't
know.
No, I don't think Green Bay, because
Green
Justin
Bay
Fields
needs an Aaron Rodgers,
skill.
Tom Brady type quarterback that makes people better.
Fields needs skill guys to help him. Because that's basically and
I think
he's
Justin
not going to
Fields
survive under Christian Watson and Randall Cobb.
Justin Fields can win
and
you.
Romeo
Justin
Dobbs.
Fields can win you games, but he also needs skilled guys.
Yeah.
I don't know if he's going to make a wide receiver better than they are, but he'll accentuate the talent that they do have, and also his athleticism will help him to win games.
Like I would be intrigued by, now if Jalen Hurts wasn't good, I'd be intrigued by Justin Fields in Philly. I don't know if he'd be, but you have AJ Brown.
That'd be interesting.
I don't know. I'd be intrigued by Justin Fields for the Giants as well. Put him in the backfield with Saquon, Wandale, Kadarius Toney. I'd be intrigued.
The Giants would be really good with a different quarterback.
It'd be hard. Daniel Jones isn't bad, man.
Daniel Jones is bad.
Give Daniel Jones a little
Just
bit of credit.
wait. They're gonna
he's
come
out to
back.
5-1.
They're gonna come down to earth.
Probably.
Just wait.
But it's okay. All right, we'll be back to round out the show. I'm getting out of here. Nate will fill in for me, and Rico and Nate will take you home. On a Thursday, I will talk to you guys tonight, 7 p.m., high school football, Columbus and Lincoln North Star. But these guys will be back on the happy hour here in a moment.
Download our app by searching 93.7 The Ticket in your app store to stay in touch and listen all day long wherever you are. More of the happy hour is next on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
The days of internet contracts and heavy fine print are over. It's time to experience hassle-free service with no contracts or hidden fees. That's the Allo promise. Allo Communications provides fiber internet, TV, and phone services with fair and no-nonsense pricing. All backed by a 30-day money-back guarantee, 24/7 local support 365 days a year, and a monthly bill you can count on. Don't settle for gimmicks. Settle for hassle-free with Allo. Visit us at allofiber.com/hassle-free.
Get an immediate look back at the game from the people who know it best. It's the Tanner's post-game show and the final word live from Tanner's Bar and Grill at 30th and Yankee Hill. Hear from former players and national champions like Jay Foreman, Rashawn Jackson, and Aaron Davis, and see what they saw in that day's game. It's the Tanner's post-game show and the final word, live and in person, home or away at Tanner's Bar and Grill, brought to you by Bauer Infrastructure. Only here on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
They might win, they might lose, but either way, you have something to say about it. Don't miss the Husker After Party postgame show immediately following every Nebraska football game. Nick Sainert and Jake Bachhoven give instant reaction, quotes from the players and coaches, and take all your phone calls with thoughts on the game. It's the Husker After Party postgame show, only on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Sponsored by Action Plumbing and Heating, Gary Michaels Quilliers, and Brant Excavating. A good game with good friends. But isn't it time to up the score when it comes to the food? Wings and Rings is here for every football fan. Catch the game on one of their big screens or snag a tail great pack to go. They're cranking up the heat and throwing in mad flavor this season. Stop by your locally owned Wings and Rings on O Street, Meridian Park, or 48th and Old Cheney in Williamsburg Village, or grab some crave-worthy Wings and Rings to go. Make them your go-to destination to watch your team bring home the win. Wings and Rings. Game time just got better.
There's a lot of realtors in Lincoln, but don't get overwhelmed by all the names. Ben Bleicher with Professional Realtor Group at Berkshire Hathaway Ambassador Real Estate is your go-to option when buying or selling residential and commercial property. Ben's team offers unbeatable customer service and promises to make the buying and selling process as stress-free as possible. Call Ben today at 402-419-6309 for all your real estate needs. Ben Bleicher with Professional Realty Group at Berkshire Hathaway Ambassador Real Estate. No pressure, just professionalism.
October often presents all 4 seasons within 1 month. Are you and your feet prepared for the highs and lows? Stop in now to Brown Shoe Fit for a fall sale. Get $10 to $15 off any regular price shoe over $70. Save on dress shoes, athletic shoes, boots, and even hiking shoes. Brown's has great brands like Brooks, New Balance, Clarks, Hoka, Merrell, and more. Some exclusions may apply, so see store for details. Stop by Brown Shoe Fit today for their fall sale, just south of 66th and Q in Lincoln.
Where will your path take you, traveler? To seek fortune in a new career? Or on a journey to distant lands for a well-deserved vacation? Wherever you go, one distraction could spell disaster. You can change your fate, adventurer. Don't drive distracted. Paid for by the NDOT Highway Safety Office.
Your home is your empire. Protect it with Empire Fence. Get a free instant quote with the online estimating tool at empire-fence.com. See an upfront estimate with no hidden fees. An Empire Fence can provide privacy and improve the appearance of your home. Keep kids and pets in or out of your yard. Increase security and add value to your property. Visit empire-fence.com now to view the stylish and maintenance-free possibilities for your home and get a free instant online quote. Let Empire Fence protect your empire.
Warhorse Casino Lincoln is open, and guests are winning big already. Get in on the fun at Nebraska's first casino. Try your luck on your favorite slot machines and join the Warhorse Rewards program for exclusive offers. The best is yet to come as we continue to build a world-class experience for our guests. Right off Highway 77 and West Denton. You'll always leave feeling like a winner at Warhorse Casino Lincoln.
Must be 21 or older to enter. Proper ID is required. Gambling problem? 1-833-BET-OVER.
Life-changing research doesn't just take place in outer space. It's also happening right here in Nebraska, and you could play a key role. Solarion, one of the world's leading clinical research organizations, needs healthy adults who are 19 years old and older for a research opportunity. If you qualify, you could earn up to $500 a day for time and travel. Overnight stays may be required. To learn more, call Solarion at 866-213-2965 or visit helpresearch.com/500.
Get a lot of advice about self-care these days, but one of the most important self-care steps we can take is making sure we're financially secure later in life. For small steps you can take to save for retirement, visit WeSaySaveIt.org. A message from AARP and the Ad Council.
College football in Lincoln, America. The time has come. Start your game day off right with the A1 Automotive Ticket Tailgate pregame show. Join the ticket crew live from Tipsy Tina's in the Haymarket as they bring you all the coverage you need to get you ready for the action. It's the A1 Automotive Ticket Tailgate pregame show on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Brought to you by A1 Automotive, Mullen Motors, Wall to Wall Wine and Spirits, Bauer Underground, Ben Bleicher with Professional Realty Group, and Ritchie Brothers.
You're listening to The Happy Hour with Nick Sainert and Enrique Alvarez-Clary, sponsored by Empire Fence and Netting on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Welcome back. Final segment of the happy hour. Time for a little crossover. Little crossover action as Nick has left me, but I am joined by one Nathan Brennan.
What's up?
And one Eric Strickland.
Some people got crossed over last night in the NBA started the season. I know that. There was
Some
some
people
crossover
did
moments.
get crossed over.
Some teams got crossed over too, i.e. the Brooklyn Nets got
the Pelicans took it to them.
Beat the brakes off of them.
How many games did you watch last night?
Just a couple. Let's put my eyes on. Hey, listen. We're gonna talk a little bit about it, but I'll throw it on the crossover since we crossing you over like Allen Iverson right now.
How about that?
That's good. So listen, the Phoenix Suns did the unthinkable that I did not think could happen. That shows just their heart, their grit, their leadership.
Mm-hmm.
Even without Chris Paul playing well, their backups came in, Payne, and I think is it Bell or gosh dang it.
I know Damian Lee.
Damian Lee.
Well,
He hit the game winner, didn't he?
Man,
He did.
Game where it falling out of bounds. listen, those guys stepped up and made plays. I was surprised because how well, obviously, Luka was playing. Then you had Christian Wood that was playing out of his backside.
Christian Wood is great.
Coming off the bench, too.
That's what's
Luka Doncic bothers me because I obviously know he is a great player. He's a phenomenal basketball player. All of his moves seem so slow,
don't it?
And nobody can seem to stop him.
Just like someone else that you used to play with, Strick.
Paul Pierce.
Paul Pierce and Dirk.
Dirk was like that too.
Dirk was a slow mover.
I swear to you,
that Dirk would dice you up.
That move
And
early
there's
in the
nothing you can
game.
do about it but
That
take
move early in the game where he drove to the basket, stopped,
fake.
and like pivoted 3 times, and I'm like,
Mhm.
how are you not just staying in front of him? And I'm like, you know what? He's a fantastic athlete. I can't.
He's
Because
also what,
that
like 7
setback-
foot? He's like
Well,
7 foot too.
almost, like
7 foot point guard,
6'9".
damn near.
But that step back is so freaking slow. So when you see it, because he's usually shoots,
Try to bite on it.
you normally and that's how Paul was. Like Paul Pierce he would hit you with a shot fake that you just had to go for. It was like Mahmoud Abdul-Rauf's shot fake where all he did was just stick it up like this. Like there was no opportunity
Here
for
you go. Like
he
he's
just
not
would
shooting
just
it. Yeah.
You know he would just but you would always go for it, right? The same thing would happen. There's certain guys in the league that I remember that had moves that you freaking knew were coming, and you would still get by them. Got by them.
Mm-hmm.
Steve Smith had the the half spin.
Yep.
You knew it was coming.
He's not going to finish it.
He's
not going to finish the
gonna
spin.
finish it. He's going to do that, and you're going to bite for it, right? Guys like that, like I said, Mahmoud Abdul-Rauf, you knew the Timmy two-step was coming, and you would still bite it. He would hit you with the and you would be going to the other side.
And you're like, why am I going this way?
Why am I going this way? So that's the things that, were fun, and that's what makes them unique. And that's why they're tough, because the moves look just like they're going to take a shot. And that's why you got to bite for it.
Just watching it, and I'm like, I love this guy, and he's a fantastic player, but damn it, he looks so slow when he does it. But he looks good. He looks a lot better than he did to start last season. Weight wise,
lose weight. He still looks
he still does. He still does. Well, Jokic still looks a little pudgy.
Jokic,
he's a 2-time MVP. Yeah,
Jokic is one of those.
Jokic is extremely slow.
How the heck are
His
2-time
jump-
MVP.
His jump shot is slow, and still nobody can block it. But he was getting a work yesterday by Colin Sexton.
Oh yeah.
Colin Sexton put him in a blender, and then he decided to lower his shoulder into Sexton's face.
I
got
got
upset.
I completely forgot because he was in the Donovan Mitchell trade.
He was.
Oh yeah.
I completely forgot about that, actually.
Everybody was sad because they split up Darius Garland and Colin Sexton, and the Cleveland fans were calling that duo Sexland.
Man,
Nice.
Listen,
Nice.
I still like Cleveland. I still like them. They're young.
They
They're
played
gonna be
tonight,
vibrant.
right?
I think
I don't
so.
think they played
They don't
yesterday.
play tonight.
No, they don't?
They played yesterday. I'm
Yes,
pretty
did
sure
they?
they lost.
Oh.
Yeah, they lost to the
I
Raptors.
still like how young and feisty they can be. Still waiting to kind of see what Denver is going to look like, and when they really.
I
ramped
still
up.
like them in the West.
You know what I mean?
Especially with Jamal Murray back.
Yeah. So,
but we'll see what happens there.
Listen, all of the tools that Utah has, draft picks. It's going to be interesting, the moves that they're going to be able to make by the trade deadline, by the end of the season, and through the summer. Like, I'm watching them to see what they do.
Teams with the most draft picks, Utah and Oklahoma City. Which one has the worst record at the end of the season?
That's what I'm saying.
And ends up
who's tanking
but ends up getting the second overall pick.
Well, you know who actually has the worst
second
odds?
wouldn't be too bad though.
You know who has the worst odds in the NBA right now, Vegas-wise, is the Indiana Pacers.
Really?
Which I think is kind of odd.
They're going to
because
have to move Miles, because if
They're
they
gonna have
keep
to.
Miles, he's not going to. Well, I mean, you're still going to lose, but he's not going to allow you to lose. He's going to.
Well, the problem is, they went out and got Tyrese Halliburton, who is a bright young star.
I love Tyrese.
And then Benedict Mathurin scored 20 last night. So you have young pieces. If they somehow found a way to tank and get the first overall pick, the Pacers would be fine.
So let me just tell you this. You ready? You ready for the
My Knicks are on pace to
X-Files?
go 0-82.
Are you ready for the X-Files moment? You ready?
Go ahead.
It is not happening in Oklahoma City. It is not happening in Utah.
Uh-oh.
Watch for a big market team to land a
Wembanyama
sweepstakes. It is not happening.
Who? If you had to choose a big market team that gets that first overall pick, who would it benefit the most?
New York.
You know who my
Knicks.
Is it time for the frozen envelope
Knicks.
to come back?
Knicks.
This is
How
supposed to
about
be a good
this?
season.
I think
I don't want it to be
I
a
don't
bad
think so.
season.
How about this, Strick? I'll do you one better. The Lakers.
Ooh, interesting.
They did mention that
It's
LeBron.
interesting.
They
They're
moved
not having
Russell
it.
Westbrook. They move Russell
not
Westbrook.
not to the trade deadline. Go ahead.
And then what happens if LeBron gets hurt? Because Anthony Davis will get hurt.
Well, did you hear
But you can't move LeBron.
what
but
their
he's got
GM
it.
what their GM said?
What?
In the in talks of Victor Wembanyama, they said a LeBron trade is not off the table.
But where?
Whoever gets that first overall pick.
So you think it's an after season move?
Oh, definitely.
He has a no trade clause, don't he?
I don't think he does.
I think it's a player no trade clause, so he could waive it depending on who ended up getting the first overall pick, which I don't know who it would be. But also at the same time, I don't.
He would
If
need
it's New York.
That
he
wouldn't
goes.
happen.
He would need a guarantee
no.
from that team that they take his son.
No team would do
That
that,
part.
though. But no team. Who is going to trade the first overall pick for LeBron James? No,
Somebody that wants to
shot.
win. Somebody wins.
No, they have to have weapons. That's why it either
Somebody
has
that doesn't
to
want to
be
build.
Utah.
But no one
nobody
that
has
gets the number one overall pick.
No
is
one
gonna
has the
do
capital to do it, though. That's the problem.
It's
No
somebody
one has
who
the
bel-
capital to do it,
It's-
even if they wanted to do it.
It's somebody that just wants to win right away. It's a Toronto trading for Kawhi Leonard.
But that's not
You
the
get
team
one-
that's going to have
you
the
get
first
1 year.
overall pick. The team that has the first overall pick is going to be trash. Trash.
Yeah, but if you trade for LeBron, if you trade for LeBron James, people want to play with LeBron. Although, man, maybe
Do they?
Maybe not.
Do they?
No, no.
Not anymore.
Maybe
don't
when
play
he
LeBron
was
anymore?
30. Maybe when he was 30. Yeah.
You heard Steph Curry tell you out of his mouth. He said, "Oh, I'm so honored." He was being nice, but he was basically saying,
Yeah.
negative. You're not coming up here to the Golden Sun."
It'd be interesting.
They were saying LeBron to Golden
They
State.
were trying to basically.
Who was saying that?
Man, LeBron put it out of me. He said, "The one
He
person
said,
I
I
wanna
would love to
I would
play
love
with
to
Steph."
play
He did say that.
Steph Curry said, "Oh, I'm so honored."
He's like, oh, that's cool.
Yeah, that's cool.
Thanks, but no thanks.
He's like, ah,
thanks, but no
yeah, he's like, cool. Nah,
Negative.
I'd rather not. So I don't know. The NBA season is going to be good. Hopefully,
It will be fun. We're going to be talking about it a lot on the
We're gonna
blog.
talk about it.
I
We're gonna
don't.
talk about it.
You say that. I don't want New York to have a bad season, though. I don't know if I can handle it again.
Didn't you just pay Brunson?
Yeah,
Ooh.
they paid Brunson and they paid RJ.
How did they do last night? I fell asleep.
They took it to OT. Cam Reddish
They
went
lost.
off. They came back from 22 down. Cam Reddish hit a 3 in the corner with 4 seconds left. Jalen Brunson took a charge from John Morant. They didn't end up
Cam
doing
Reddish
anything.
is on the Knicks?
Yeah.
Now they just need to get Zion.
Didn't end up doing
Complete the
anything with that.
trio.
Went to OT, ended up losing by 2 on a bull honky call. John Morant fouled Jalen Brunson and also goaltended the shot. Refs didn't call it.
Of course.
I'll show you the video. I'll show you the video. That's
know
it for
what
the
they
happy
want.
hour.
The Knicks
Yeah,
aren't
yeah.
getting the benefit of the doubt. Come on.
That's it for the happy hour. Up next on the block,
You know
Nate
what it is.
Strick will take you for another 2 hours. You guys have a fantastic rest of the day. Adios.
This is Lincoln's home for sports talk on the FM dial. Also online at theticketfm.com. On the internet. KNTK FM Firth, 93.7 The Ticket.
Lose fat, build muscle, gain endurance. Whatever your goal, Barrel